Wherever you are and however you are listening, thank you for being back with us on another episode of the Virtual GM Podcast. Today, we're going to give you some great free information. This is the episode that's all about the free marketing tools that are out there that you can use to grow your business. If you're not at a place yet where you're ready to bring in an agency or you just don't have the budget, this is the episode for you. We cover 5 awesome tips that are going to help you market your business for free.
Welcome back to the VGM Podcast. We're excited to be here today. Okay, Cody, so start with your segue.
All right. Well, exciting news. We applied for a contest at our local bank here in Southern Utah, State Bank of Southern Utah. Awesome bank if you need somebody. And they did a small business contest where you could win up to $50,000 for your small business. And Vibrant Marketing qualifies for that. So I applied for it. I filled out all the stuff. I made a promo video for it. And I just found out we made the semifinals.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, you could win $50,000?
Yeah.
Just free money.
Yeah. I mean, it's America, so.
They'll just print some more.
I don't know exactly how that works or what all the stipulations are for, but if you get first place, it's $50,000. We're in the semifinals.
Wow.
So I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet or not, but.
What do you have to do?
Go to Cedar.
Go to Cedar, duh.
But it's
45 minutes to win $50,000? Yeah, no brainer.
Probably. But what if I don't win?
Well, at least you tried.
I mean, I'm going to win anyways.
Yeah, so go.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
So that's on Monday. So I got to talk to Alex about that. It's just been such a crazy week. I haven't even had a chance to tell anyone about it, but that's really cool. So stay tuned to the next episode, see if we win.
Yeah.
And then Cash's football season for my personal is over. He had it was his best football season yet. And he had a different coach, which was really good for him because I'd been his coach for all the sports and I was like the assistant, but the coach didn't really need me. So I didn't do anything, which was nice for me. I got to finally just watch and be a fan. And he just did so great. And his last game was on Monday and he got 2 touchdowns and got one right in front of us. And he is just so proud. It was awesome to see.
Yeah. It's been incredible to watch him grow. For me, I'll start with personal. We did something crazy and we bought a puppy over the weekend.
And for those listeners that don't know, we have 2 labs already.
Yeah. And they're great. And they're
the greatest
2 years
dogs.
old and they're so amazing. And so we thought, hey, why not shake it up? We're already busy. Let's just add a puppy. So we got a Cane Corso and she is so cute.
Probably the cutest puppy I've ever seen.
Also so much work. So that's been
feisty.
Fun. Yeah, she's so feisty.
So if you don't know, look up Cane Corsos. They're they're gargoyle looking dogs. If you cut their ears, which we're not going to do,
definitely,
obviously, because we love our animals.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can be up to 110 pounds or bigger even, and just massive, massive guard dogs. And I'll tell you, I've never been scared of a puppy before.
She's a little terrifying.
This one is fight. I mean, she's loving and cute and all that, but when she wants something else or doesn't want to be doing what you're doing. Ooh,
yeah, we're going to have to get her
feisty
into
little monster.
Good training.
Yeah.
So that's my personal. For business, I attended the Utah Tourism Conference last week. Yeah, that was last week. So that was really cool. They do it a really cool way where the first night is like a mixer, right? So you just get a mingle and network. And then on Wednesday, you can sign up.
And that was at Roosters.
Yep. Shout
out
to
Kim Bouchard.
I mean, they're really growing.
Oh,
it's
man, they're
so
amazing.
Cool to see.
Kim's killing it up there. So good job, Kim. Congratulations.
Yeah, I got some food from there. It was so good.
Did they provide the food?
Yeah, they had like a spread, but I actually ordered from Roosters because
I was wondering why we had that charge.
Burger. And it was amazing. But on Wednesday, they let you sign up for different activities. They want you to discover the county that you're in. And
I love that they do that because so many conferences you go to and you never get a chance to actually see the area you're in.
Totally. And I'm not super familiar with up north, right?
Yeah.
Like I know Salt Lake, the main towns on the freeway, but other than that, I'm never really experienced anything there. And so Emily and I signed up for horseback riding on Antelope Island, which was really cool to see. It was surrounded by the Great Salt Lake. Yeah. 800 bison there.
Wow.
And so we got to take horses up around, for an hour, which was really cool. And they started that like 133 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been there for a very, very long time. And then we signed up for like a chocolate making class.
Yeah.
And when we were following the directions, I was like, we're in a neighborhood. This just seems so weird. Like, are we going to the right place? And it turns out it's this commercial kitchen at a house, like in a basement. And it turned out to be the funnest, like hour and a half. We had a great group. We learned how to dip chocolates, and the chocolate was incredible. So I got to bring home a big bowl of chocolate.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, it was honestly some of the best chocolate I've ever had. And they had an odd thing of
potato chip.
Yes, a potato chip dipped in chocolate. And it was amazing, which makes sense. It's like
soft,
it's like, you know,
sweet and savory.
pretzel, you know.
So anyways, that was really cool. That was like my first conference I've been to ever.
And if you're without me or anyone.
Because like the Southern Utah Tourism Conference, like I was there, but I was also working it.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, any state that you're in, your state tourism office should be putting on one of those annual tourism conferences. It's always good to be at that so you can get all the up-to-date information. And if you're in Utah, be sure to go to next year's. Did they say where it's going to be? Oh, you missed the last day.
I did. I had to leave early for.
That's when they announce it. Okay, so today we were brainstorming on what would be a good topic for today. This is your typical drive to work on a Thursday morning, so we'll keep it short and sweet for you. But we thought, man, what is it that our audience could really use? And we thought, let's go over the do-it-yourself marketing. So if you're not at a place where you have a budget or a need to bring in a professional marketing company like ourselves, what are the things that you could be doing yourself? And so I'll get us started with one. And one thing that you can do, which is so important, is to be putting blogs on your website. So that is how Google finds out what your website's about and who should be looking for you. So when you type into the search in Google, best places to stay around Zion, well, Google is reading your website. So you want to have articles that are saying, we're the best place to stay around Zion because, right? And so if you are a writer, then awesome. Then you can just write that yourself. You can use tools like ChatGPT and you could say, what are the most important keywords for me? And ChatGPT will tell you. And if you're not a great writer, give ChatGPT some bullet points and it'll write it for you. You know, that's not is going to be as good, obviously, as a person writing it, but it's better than nothing. And so what you're going to ask ChatGPT to do is give me an article about X property covering these X things to do. And then you could give it some more information if you know, like talk about this restaurant or this tour excursion or this hike. And then make sure to use these keywords. I would have your articles be 600 to 1,000 words. And then you're going to also want to have an image that you want to meta tag. So that way when someone searches like hikes in Zion, if that's what your article is about, your image could show up there and then it could lead them to your article. But that's one that outside of a ChatGPT subscription, which you can even use ChatGPT for free, you don't really have to spend any money for that. But if you were putting out one of those articles every single week, that's going to go a long ways.
I mean, ChatGPT like has changed my life. And if you're not using it,
get on the horse.
Because like responding to reviews, especially like negative reviews, and I'm like trying to rack my brain. I'm like, okay, how do I address this concern? But also, you know, and I just put, hey, write a short response to this. And the responses that ChatGPT comes up with, I was like, wow, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, even we're talking about our daughter having a hard time at school last night. And it's like, how important is it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even remember the math I learned.
ChatGPT is going to, if you don't know how to do a math equation, just ask ChatGPT. It will tell you, you know, like you don't need to know that stuff. You do need to learn, though.
Yes, that's important.
All right. What's another one?
Flowdesk.
Ooh, that's good.
We started using that this year, right?
No, we've been using it now for probably about 2 years.
Becca just took over
because this year it's been 2 years now that we've been forecasting out all of our email campaigns for all of our properties for the entire years. We've been using it for like 2.5 years.
Wow.
But it's awesome.
Well, and I think it seems pretty easy, like user friendly, right? Because Becca like picked it up and she's creating all these email campaigns and they have like templates and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that
So Flowdesk is just the tool that we use for email campaigns. So that's $40 a month. The reason we like Flowdesk is because it's unlimited amount of subscribers. So as your subscriber list goes, your price stays the same. You can use MailChimp, which also is very easy to use, same thing. But as your email list grows, it can become pretty expensive. I think you can get away with it for free in the beginning, which is nice. So if you don't have a big list yet, you can do that for free.
But that's nice because then you're connecting with customers who've already stayed with you. And you're just kind of touching base, right? To get those customers as returning customers. Your best guests are the ones you've already sold. Yeah. Right? Like someone who's already said yes to, it's easier to get them to say yes again. Peter Drucker did a whole thing about that, about how many companies don't focus on
the guests like the customers they've already got, and they're always worried about new customers. But the best customers you have are the ones that have already bought from you. And so the way that we do it is so we'll start doing this probably in about December, is we look at the entire year. And we know that for most of our properties, the booking window is about 30-ish days. So if we're going to do a 4th of July email, we don't want that to go out in July. So we're going to do that in June, right? And so like the emails that went out, we did an awesome one for the canyons that went out last month talking about Halloween and like with pictures of all their Halloween decorations and everything. And so we like to look at it a year ahead. So we already strategically know like, okay, here's what the main theme of the email is going to be. Now, maybe some parts of the body are going to change, or you might have a promo you didn't know you're going to have, but at least whatever that thing is, like when the St. George Marathon comes.
Yes.
We're ready to do that. Or if there's like a Ragnar or whatever it is, we're pre-planning. Or like for our properties in Oregon, we know when the move-in weekend is for parents.
Okay.
And so we do one about that 30 days before the move-in. So really, really easy platform. You could use MailChimp for free. What's nice again with Flowdesk, like we've got Avenir, their distribution list is like 20,000 people.
What?
Yeah. Because the properties have been around for so long. So
wow.
That would be unbelievably expensive on a different platform that's not Flowdesk. But then you get all of your metrics. You can see your click-through rate, your open rate, and you obviously want to make sure you're collecting your customers'
absolutely
data. So depending what PMS you're on, what we do is we pull all of our updated emails every quarter, so that way we're consistently refreshing it, and just growing the list. But if you're not doing that now, I mean, that's one of the best tools out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what was the next one we're going to do?
Talk about Facebook.
Yeah, we'll talk about what the person so Megan went to a breakout at the tourism conference.
I don't want to butcher what he said.
So,
it was like an hour long.
Well, yeah, just do your best.
Basically, he talked about like how much work it is, right, to do organic posts, right? And how much time people are spending trying to create content. And so he basically said, pick your top 3 things that you're like known for that is really good, and do 1 paid post a week.
Yeah.
And that is going to get you more return than posting 5 times a week, because eventually you're going to have to cycle through your content.
Yeah.
You're going to be talking about the same thing. So pick your top 3 things that you're known for, and then do a really quality post about it and pay for that. Right. And so it's more about quality, not quantity, he was saying, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times we're like, oh, we got to have a post every day. And then you're doing on all the different platforms. And then you have like 21 posts you're doing a week. That's a lot of time.
And you can get burnout that way too.
And he also said like for people who are managing content managers, I can't remember what the title was, but to like give them a break, right? And if you change their job structure where they're really taking their time doing that 1 paid post, it's going to make their life a lot easier. Yeah. And they're going to be happier in their job.
And the reason I want to talk about this too is because you can very easily promote like a post on Instagram just right through the platform. You can also do smart campaigns in Meta, and all of that is better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to get a better return and more targeted with more data if you had an agency like us that really did a detailed campaign. But if you're not at that place yet, you can easily just jump onto Instagram and do like a $10 boost or a $50 boost. And you can still pick which areas you want to market and certain demographics. And that is obviously better than nothing.
It was really interesting because he had a slideshow and it went through all the steps, which seemed pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But you can pick your audiences.
Right.
Which is crazy.
And you can build your own custom audiences.
Exactly.
So you can have different audiences that you want to, depending on what the topic is, what you're trying to push.
It's like your phone's always listening. You get those ads and it's like you're being targeted.
Yep.
But how smart, right?
Yeah.
And then he said building like a mirror audience. Is that what he said?
A lookalike maybe?
A lookalike audience, right? The
Look
people
at me
you're
knowing all these
actually
phrases.
trying to get, right? And reaching outside of the clients that you already have. It was very interesting.
And then another great one too is user-generated content. So UGC, we did a lot of this.
We did.
When we had Kyle kind of manning that. But there's so many people who are phenomenal photographers and videographers and amazing at making reels. And maybe they don't have a lot of followers. They're not an influencer. I prefer them anyways. Because what you're getting, like think of the person who came to the dwellings. if you're listening to this, go to the Dwellings Instagram feed and you'll know which ones are his. You remember those amazing, like
Alex?
Yeah, I think so. The
Yeah, we
mountain
gotta
bike
get him back out there.
drones and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, his stuff was just so good. And
we just did a trade. We just
Yeah.
comped his stay for all that, and then he sent us a drive. He was probably the best.
oh,
UGC
oh yeah, here it is. I mean, look at that.
Yeah. He's one of the best that we've ever had stay at our properties, and the amount of work that he did in exchange for the stay, because some of them they're like, oh, you can have one post and one reel.
And that's why we did make a contract. If you're listening to this, like, I don't even know where to start, reach out to me, Cody@thevibrantteam.com. I'll send you the contract we created for our content creators, because we did run into that before we had those things where it's like, oh, they did a story, or like, here's 5 pictures. That's like, that wasn't
not worth
it.
the stay.
But now we set up parameters of like, well, here's exactly what we need in order for us to give you this stay. And why I say that it doesn't matter how many followers they have. It's less about you being introduced to their audience and more about the content you're getting. Because if we were to hire a videographer to go get that content that he got for us, that'd probably be $3,000, you know? And we were able to get all of that content for him staying. And he's also posting it too. So even if his audience isn't massive, we're still getting introduced to, obviously, I'm sure his followers are outdoors people who want to do the things he does.
Right.
And so then you also are getting the opportunity to get some bookings. But that's a great way to get content. And also, you don't have to overthink it.
Yeah,
you don't have
simple.
You don't have to try and be so artistic when you're getting content. You can literally just go through and film a 15-second clip of your room. And then when you go into Instagram and you look at like audios, if there's a little arrow by it, that's a trending audio. If you can catch it around, it's been used 1,000-ish times, that means it's on the uptrend, and just throw that audio over it with a nice, nice little phrase, and then that's all you need. So you don't have to rethink the wheel. It's already been done.
Also, it's okay to be bad at first.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get good unless you do it.
Right. Better to be bad and do it than not do it at all.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where a lot of tools in your arsenal that you can do to be able to get that return that you're looking for without having to involve an agency. And then we've talked about this a bunch, but in case you're new to the podcast, if you have a website, also just throw a pop-up up for whatever your promo is, or at least have a promo. Have some reason why that guest needs to book with you when they arrive on your website versus going to one of the other thousands of platforms that exist. In fact, this one's not free, but I'll just do a shout out. We had Jason from Hover on, and we have our first property using Hover, and it's so freaking cool. So go to watchmanvillas.com and check out Hover for the cost of that program. Basically, you can get one booking a month that pays for itself, and it's an amazing way to bring content onto your website. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh,
but I saw the demo, which was amazing.
It is so cool.
I'll have to.
Was there anything else that we left off?
No, I think that's what I had on here.
Okay, so a quick recap. You've got blogs you can write, or you can have ChatGPT write for you. Utilizing an email campaign, Flowdesk and MailChimp are both great. Having user-generated content, having people come stay at your properties and trading out that stay for amazing content. Using the boost buttons on your social posts, and then also doing smart campaigns inside of Meta that will give you the ability, without having to know all the ins and outs, how you can get some of those ads running.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Well, I think that's it.
Short and sweet.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We look back to having you with us. You're going to want to check the next one because we have another, I'll just give you a little teaser here, another property of ours that is up for sale. So you have another opportunity to work with us. That's next episode, episode 22. And if you are looking for the perfect hotel property for you, you're not going to want to miss this.